Hi, and welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Fulfill the game of life.
Well, as you can see behind us, we have arrived in Phoenix, Arizona.
Absolutely. Sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
It's nice and cozy and warm. It's about actually not much different than what we're experiencing
In Portugal.
in
Sesimbra.
high is here about 65 Fahrenheit, and as you can see anyway, behind us we're on the golf course, and which is kind of a nice view, but in reality, compared to Sesimbra, overlooking the ocean and the cliff every morning,
It's just a little boring.
it really is a real letdown, right? But Phoenix is still a beautiful place for sure, and Christy has just been familying herself to death. Would you say?
Absolutely. Just trying to get a visit in with everybody that I can possibly fit in. And but I think the jet lag has really gotten to us.
Oh, it's been brutal. It was brutal. The whole trip here was probably close to, what, 20 hours with 2 stopovers. And by the
Yes.
time we got here, we woke up at 3 a.m. for about 4 mornings in a row.
We
So
did.
that's been tough, huh?
Yes.
But anyway, we're here, and we wanted to kind of pick up and knock out a couple of videos that we actually recorded back in Sesimbra. And as we left our first video, Balcony Babble, we talked about would we retire early again? Given the opportunity, simply would we retire early? And the answer to that is yes.
Absolutely.
We encourage you to go watch that video if you want a little bit more commentary on that. But in this video, we're going to ask and answer a second question, which is, okay, you've decided you would retire early a second time. Would you do it in the same way? And what we mean by that is, would you retire in Portugal and living the Airbnb lifestyle? So, you want to kick this video off, and we'll get going. So I think we're going to ask the second question. The first question is, if you could retire early, would you do it again? And the answer is
Yes.
absolutely. No doubt about it. The second question, though, is if you could retire early again, and you've taken the path to retire in Portugal, would you take that same path again after 6 months?
Hands down, yes.
Yes. Yeah, hands down,
Yeah.
right? Portugal, for us, of course, has been a massive lifestyle change for us. And some of those things I think we want to talk about, because we think it probably just leads you to look at your own life to see if this makes sense, right? But let's kind of go through maybe some of those highlights. I'll start. The first thing for me is, as you know, I worked on cars. If you've ever owned a house, you know there's almost always something to work on, the gutters to clean, or a leak here, or landscaping. There's just all kind of stuff to do all the time that kind of consumes your life. And since changing to this lifestyle, I have lost all task responsibility. That's new. And that actually is a mental shift, right? Because I would get up and go spend a day in the garage, or a half a day in the garage, and then, go work on stuff and build stuff. And I enjoyed those things for sure. But 6 months worth of not working on stuff, that's darn appealing as well, actually.
Yes.
It allows time for other things. And so far, we've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it a ton. And I don't know about you.
Before retiring, I honestly, I didn't really have any hobbies. So I think for me, it's just taking the time to learn new things, to figure out what my likes are, discover new interests. So I think it was a huge thing for me that I've enjoyed.
So maybe moving into, we moved to Portugal, as you know, and neither of us regret that. This
No.
has been a fantastic trip for us. But the second piece to that is not just moving to Portugal, but moving into the Airbnb lifestyle.
Absolutely. So being able to live in the different areas around Portugal has opened up the entire country for us to be able to experience. It's just been castle after castle and sanctuaries and beautiful beaches and just the countryside and Lisbon we've gotten to experience. So it's a lot to experience in one country. You just don't ever get bored.
Yeah, it is so far. It really is remarkable. If you're from the United States, you just have no idea of the history and the diversity of things that you can go see that's been here for so long, just because the civilization has been here so long. We met a fantastic couple just the other day, and we're going to share more of that. And we were telling them about the drive between here and Setúbal, which is a 30-minute drive, right? And we're like, look, we just want to drive along the beach. And they said, does it remind you of California? And the answer is, it does remind you of California because you see the cliffs and you see the water. But what's so much far beyond California is in between 30 minutes worth of driving, you see castles, you see his fort. You not only see the cliffs, you see these mills that were built up the side of the mountain, and it's just something you won't experience in the United States. There's just not enough history in the United States, and it makes this place fascinating. It's just fascinating because you don't expect it, and you hop in the car and you're like, oh my God, look at that, or let's pull off and look at this. It's just continuous. And I got back, we got back here after that trip. And, I was really thinking about it. And I told her, I'm convinced, right, there is more to see in Portugal than there is if you combined Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and probably South Carolina. There is so much, so tightly packed every time you get in the car that if you're willing to go off the beaten path a little bit, it's remarkable. It's just remarkable. So the Airbnb lifestyle around this country has only opened our eyes to what all's here, right? It's been awesome. I think the Airbnb lifestyle really, though, it leads to two questions. Maybe it's one question, but it leads to one real question easily, which is 1 month enough when you stay?
I think the answer to that for me is it depends on where you stay.
Yeah.
Because the mill, we could have stayed a little bit shorter. And some of the other places, maybe 6 weeks, I think we talked about earlier, is a perfect time. However, when you first arrive in Portugal, you definitely need at least 2 months, maybe 3 months.
Yeah, our history, as we showed you in video, that first month for us was gone by getting bank accounts and documents and just cleaning up everything that we could just to kind of get settled. And then the second for us, when we stayed at Linhares for 1 month, and we made all those videos about everything that's in a 3-hour drive. Not everything, but 12 historical villages in a 3-hour radius, and we just couldn't see enough. Literally, it was overwhelming.
It was so overwhelming that we had to wait until we got to Italy to
make the videos.
Exactly.
We were taking so much video footage, so yes, you could stay longer in that central region and take your time. And instead of seeing 3 castles in one day and showing up late.
And then on the way to Italy, there was things to record and make a video about. And while you're in Italy, there was just so much to see and do. Every place that we went in Europe, it's been fantastic.
But it's the bottom line is this: it really does depend. Is 1 month about the right length? We both agree the mill had a beautiful view, but it only had a bed. It didn't have a living room, so it was that small, and it really was as close to roughing it as either of us probably enjoy. We had some significant battles with the mosquitoes. And. So we both look back on that and say, you know what, we could have done with 3 weeks here and been pretty happy, but we're here for 2 weeks.
I think for me, 1 week.
1 week.
One and done. That's it.
But here, we're scheduled to be here 6 weeks. We've almost been here 4.
Yeah, and it's gone by so fast.
And it's awesome.
It is.
I say I don't want to leave right now. I mean, you
know.
get up, you look at the view that's been behind us, and you see the sunsets.
Yeah.
You go to the beach. So 6 weeks is fantastic. But at the same time, the other part of the Airbnb lifestyle that is so legitimate that there is an emotional response about 2 days before the next stay. 2 to 3 days before the next day, as you're calm and you've explored the area and you're slowing down, when you start thinking about your next day, you start pulling up maps, you start getting excited. Now, you don't look forward to packing, right? Packing in the car and unloading, but it's a one-day thing, right? You pack it up, really you pack it up the night before, and then you're in the car and you're gone, right? And you unpack it the same night, and you're pretty much set for 4 to 6 weeks. So there is like this new world excitement that happens once a month, and it's beautiful. It literally is. It's like, oh, we're going here, and you get surprised with what you see on the way, and then like here, we're so surprised with the area.
Absolutely. It's like backpacking in style.
It's beautiful.
Right.
It is awesome. So, that's a lot of description to simply say, have you enjoyed the Airbnb lifestyle?
Absolutely.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down, if you can do this, if you can go from place to place at a speed that fits your lifestyle, retiring early, retiring to a country where there's more stuff than you can imagine, and then moving from place to place to see this country, as small as this country is, but to see it in these buckets, we would totally do it again.
Absolutely. And I think for a lot of people, it also helps them to decide where they want to put roots, where they actually want to buy a property and stay. So I think when people move out here and they don't really explore the area,
You're missing an opportunity, aren't they?
They are. They're missing out.
Yep. It would be, it's just been phenomenal. Every stay gives you kind of different views, different landscapes, but different conveniences, but then also different populations that you're having to deal with, and convenience to grocery shopping and or restaurants that you're going to. So if you can do it, you should consider it. And at the end of it, when you're kind of tired of moving around, maybe you do say, you know what, this is where I'm at. I've stayed 10 different places, and I love this area compared to everywhere else. I don't think you could do it objectively any other way. All you could do is read articles and hope that you agree with the person who evaluated that area, right?
I think so.
So it's been phenomenal. Retiring early, retiring into Portugal, and the Airbnb lifestyle, no way would we not do it this way again. Happy as we could possibly be doing it exactly this way.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it gives you some insight into helping you decide how you want to retire early.
Once again, hold on for a third section of this video series coming up really soon as well, where we do still talk about what are the things that we miss.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Thank you guys.
Adios.
See you later.